The first thing we are presented with is the interface of the program, which is the collection of all the buttons and the views that we have inside 3ds Max. The first thing I'll do is create a box, for example. Now whenever I do this, I can see this box from the 4 different views that I have. In the perspective view, I can see my box from all possible angles. And this view is called a 3D view because I can see the X, Y, and Z dimensions of my objects, which represent the length, width, and height of my object. In the front view, I can just see 2 dimensions. The same goes for the top view and the left view. So these 3 views are called 2-dimensional or planar views, while the perspective view is called a 3D view. To maximize my current view, for example the perspective view, I would either click on this button here that says maximize viewport toggle, or preferably I will press the Alt-W shortcut on my keyboard. So Alt-W is used to maximize, minimize any viewport that you click on. I prefer to right click in the viewport to select it instead of left clicking, because if I do left click I would lose my current selection. So let's say that the box was selected from the perspective view. If I right clicked, I would keep the selection over the box, but the view would become the active view. Another thing I can do is arc rotate around my object, which is see the object from all possible angles. To do that, I would click on the Ark Rotate Tool and rotate around my object like so, or rotate around my scene. Again, if I press Alt-W, I can see this from all possible angles. If I choose Arc Rotate from outside, I'm gonna tumble my view. It's best to use Arc Rotate from the inside and adjust the rotation of the view from the outside. Now, if I look at the perspective view, I can see it in solid mode, while the other 3 viewports are in wireframe mode. To turn the view into solid, all I have to do is select my view and press F3 on my keyboard. And this of course applies to the perspective view. When I press F3, I switch to wireframe view, which shows me the construction lines of the object. If I press F3 again, I see it in solid mode. Now we're going to talk about moving objects. To pan my view, all I have to do is press the middle mouse button and pan around, or I can click on the hand tool here and pan around. Another thing I can do is zoom by rotating the middle mouse button, the middle mouse wheel, or clicking here and zooming in and out. Another way to zoom is to press the brackets on the keyboard. So the right bracket will zoom out and the left bracket will zoom in. Another way to pan is to press I on the keyboard, and without hitting any mouse button, by just moving the mouse, you would be panning around your scene. That's it for viewport navigation. Now we're going to talk about moving, rotating, and scaling objects.